What up? Oh, my fireman count down. That's on me. That's 5 years and I'm still messing up. All right. What up, what up? Come on, people.
This is the Vaugiotto Broadcast Show. Timpin Salone. Yeah, I think we're just going to have to keep running with that, trying to see if we'll eventually get it all together, but it's just a running joke now. All right, so how have you been doing?
You know, all is well. Just blessed to be in the presence of greatness. How about yourself?
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm just looking forward to this special episode here. So as we get started, we have a very special announcement. So this month of December will mark 5 years since we started Vaugiotto Production. And on December 13th, 2019, we released our first episode of Timpin Salone on our YouTube channel. So it was just crazy to see how these 5 years have gone by so fast. So with this episode and with this video, we're just going to do a quick reflection of our 5 years, get some couple of questions there. And also we're going to do a very special reaction video where we'll look at some videos that we've had throughout the years and do some reactions and just give some commentary on different clips that we've had throughout our YouTube channel.
Given that 5 years of progress that we had, share the people any setbacks or kind of traumatic experience that we kind of faced.
Yeah, I guess, whenever you're starting something, you're always going to face some trials and tribulations. I think we had a good start. I think in the middle, I think once you start something, it's kind of hard to stay consistent and really follow through and just think of new ideas and new and innovative ways to keep things going, keep things fresh, and keep the content going and engaging. So I think that those like middle years, maybe like year 3 or 2, I think maybe might have been like a little setback. And then I think as we are able to like really just meet and really establish ourselves, I think we were able to get to another level, just continue with the consistency and hard work and just our dedication to the platform. I think we were able to push through. What about you?
I think logistically, trying to execute at a high level as far as putting the pieces together. I think everybody has ideas of creativity and production, but I think that just putting pen to paper and taking actionable steps to accomplish those goals are always the hard part. You know, there's always changing of personnel, changing of ideas, and this gets colorful when you're living in your purpose. But I think that just understanding the reason why, meditating in that, and just, being at peace with the reason why is how we continue to have progress. And also anybody that's watching, it's a big shout out to you for taking the time and just investing your ear and listening to us. Cause, the show is colorful at times, but just continue to grow and shine is just, I guess how we made it through. And God.
Yeah, most definitely can't forget God.
A lot of favor and grace on there, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and as we continue, whether it's with Timpin Salone or just with other content through Vaugiotto Production, where do you find the motivation to continue to do this?
Honestly, if I wasn't doing this, I wouldn't know what else to do. So I think that it's always a pleasure to come to work. I don't even know if I consider this work. It's always a pleasure to just live in your purpose and doing something that you love to do. I think just finding purpose and just the recognition by your peers and just seeing somebody wear a Vaugiotto sweatshirt or just somebody just consistently, asks about the show and how are things going. So I think it's just the recognition from peers and just always being just understanding the why. And I think I fell in love with the reason why we do this. So I think it's just consistently remembering that why we get up every day, why we kind of just send these long emails and just, go through the rain that comes with progress. But, for me, it's just that reason why, and it's always rooted in the people. So how about yourself?
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm very passionate just about what we do. I've always enjoyed filming, whether it be a Timpin Salone episode or having a guest on from other people, just being able to record the content, really just have these discussions and conversations. So I just really enjoy the whole process, whether it be pre-production, actually filming the episode, or just post-production, getting the social media clips ready, and then just with editing the episodes and stuff like that. So I really just enjoy the process, just thinking of new and innovative ideas just to bring more content for the platform, and also just working with you. I think it's just really nice to have a good partnership with you and just really being able to work together. I think it really just depends on who you're working with too. That can really help you get through the trials and tribulations. So I thank you for your dedication and continuing to just show up for the platform, really just being yourself and being here.
Pleasure. It's always a pleasure to work with you as well. If anybody, you know how I am. I'm kind of a little more of an off-camera type of guy, but if I ever is going to do a broadcast platform, yourself in high regard is always going to be my request. But give the people a little appetizer of what they can expect in the future or the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're going to continue Timpin Salone. Hopefully we're going to continue to bring new and creative ideas to the show and just really just continue to establish ourselves within the platform. And also, I think I can say this, I think we're going to work on some new show ideas to bring to the platform. So I think everybody should stay tuned for that sometime next year, I believe. So I think we're going to really just work on that and just really just think of new types of content and just new show ideas to bring to the platform. What about yourself?
You gave everybody the answer there. I think just continue with just progress, bringing different perspectives on the platform, bringing people who may have different perspectives than us to have quality dialogue and be solution oriented in that process. So, I'm just looking forward to the different perspectives, the different partnerships, the different network opportunities, the different collaborations that the future holds, and the future looks bright, and I'm looking forward to it. So yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree. So without further ado, we're going to start to react to some of these clips. I'm really looking forward to seeing this evolution of our platform throughout the year. So let's get started.
So what is Vaugiotto Productions?
Vaugiotto Production. So it's a production company that me and my business partner started. And the whole goal was kind of giving power back to the creators. It's kind of how in the media you kind of don't control your narrative. It's kind of like with the production company, you film music videos, documentaries. The actual show is filmed through the production company that we own. So Timpin Salone, Vaugiotto Echelon Clothing, and Vaugiotto Production, that's owned by me and my business partner. That shit is clean, bro. That shit is clean, bro. Up to you. You count it down? 3. You'll just let us know. Yeah. You gonna try to figure this something? Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this first clip?
I almost should have thugged tear watching that. I think just watching that shows progress. It shows how uneducated we are with the progress, and it just kind of defines just, the places that we're going. So I think that it's just, I ain't trying to get emotional on camera, but it's just a pleasure to see progress. How about yourself?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was nice to see with that first part of the clip. I just saw our friend Daniel. Shout out to Daniel. He interviewed us, and that was our beginning. That was kind of like one of our first interviews where we talked about the platform itself. So it was nice to really just describe what the platform was, and then just with the purple hoodies. That was just a really unique time there, because that was when we were first just getting the word out about Timpin Salone and about Vaugiotto Production. So just being able to wear those hoodies around campus at the time we were in college, just being able to show that, just to show people what we were in the process of doing, just being able to tell that story of what we're doing, what we want to plan to do. It's really nice to see those beginnings.
It's always a pleasure to see the people that, whether you're talking about Daniel, whether you're talking about Bridge, just people that have been a part of the process, still continue to be a part of the process and continue on to do great things in the community. It's just a pleasure to see the roots that, Vaugiotto Production had a small piece in just, in other people's stories, and how just even now when we do another people or just, have people on the platform, just the level of reverence that the dialogue demands. It's just a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing.
All righty, let's move on to the next clip.
That's the thing I was thinking too. What if your Uber got into an accident? Or there's one case for me specifically where I was Ubering from one place to another, and the guy that we were Ubering with, he was a little tired. He was making a turn at the light. He turned the wrong side of the road. We got pulled over.
Really?
Yeah, and then the cops were asking everything. Like we were explaining how we were in the Uber. Yeah. But that's saying like you have to put your trust in that guy. Like he could really be doing anything. I was thinking like, would you be held liable? Would you like get in trouble, or would you like basically do that if, for God forbid, if you were getting into an accident or something like that, an Uber driver, would you couldn't like sue because like you willingly went to that Uber, you paid for the Uber, so.
It just brings back memories. I remember that day. I remember, just how cold it was outside. I remember just trying to set up the camera angles. I remember just a pleasure to watch. I could still go back and just watch old content that we had and just still find pleasure, information, and gain from it. So it's just a continual reminder that it's a privilege to get up every day and just have the privilege to have dialogue with you and just continue to do Vaugiotto production. I'm forever grateful. How about yourself?
Yeah, that was a crazy clip. I think that happened like a little bit before when we were filming that episode, that incident where I was an Uber driver and they went down the wrong side of the road. That happened like a little bit before, like maybe like a couple weeks before we recorded that first episode. So that was like still pretty fresh in my mind. But yeah, it was just a crazy experience. But yeah, like you were saying, that first episode was like very historic. A lot went into it, just preparing for that and just having that episode. That was one of those legendary episodes where I knew like after we did that first, okay, we got something going on. So it was nice to get the ball rolling with that first episode, just to see where we are right now.
It's just, the future looks bright. The future looks bright, and potential is just looking forward to the potential.
All right, yeah, let's move on to a third clip here.
The funniest story of me or that you know about?
I guess this is from what I remember. This was when you had to do that ice bath once.
Oh man.
One time, I don't know if like you were hurting or something, but like our dad was like, you know what you should do, Drew, an ice bath. So we went to the store, got everything that we needed, obviously just ice, put the cold water in there, had Drew go in the ice bath. Tell me why this man shed real tears.
It was one of the bath waters all the way on cold, and he poured like 3 or 4 buckets of ice. That was so cool.
I felt so bad. I just remember taking a peek into like the bathroom and I just saw the tears, but I just had to go in my room and just laugh about it. I felt bad, but it was funny.
Yeah, this is back in the track days. Our coach, he had us doing some like things that are like that no human can ever do. I could barely move after his practice.
Well, look, one thing is for sure, those tears were probably warmer than the water. I'm telling you, he probably cried on purpose. He wanted to warm up. He's like, you know what? Let me make these tears real quick.
That was so painful. But I do have to say though, even though I cried and I was only in there for 5 minutes, it did help. My legs felt pretty light after that, so
I cannot.
Oh man, that was a that was a crazy story. I was. I guess with that clip, I was just thankful that my sister was able to come on to the platform for the episode. This was, I think, the first family member that we had on the platform for a Timpin Salone episode, so it was nice to have her. And then that story, that was I just remember that vividly because that was the only time that I've ever done an ice bath, and that was really hurting so bad. I tried to thug it out, as they said. I tried to really stay in there, but I was like, I can't do this anymore, so I had to get out of there. But like I said in the video, that did help a lot. I was feeling so much better.
Better man than me. I've never had, that type of bath before, but I've seen like kind of like the effects. It's supposed to like help you regenerate energy and stuff like that. So, I mean, I definitely see the effects, but it's just the first kind of diving in is just, will get a little shaky for me right there. But, I definitely see the benefits though. But again, it just, again, every time we just, even the ability to go back and watch the dialogue and still smile, get information, and just, it just shows you just the level of thought and effort that went into just creating that. Like, a lot of people with broadcast platform, and again, this is no shade or animosity to anybody, but I think that when we live in a world that's always trying to produce and post and post and post, that's cool. Don't get me wrong, have progress, but it's just like, how many of those videos still count? How many of those songs that you drop still count? Like, how many level of stuff that you put out to the world for them to consume can you still go watch, you still digest? And just the fact that we can still go back in history and still learn from it, it's just a privilege.
I think what I like best about Timpin Salone is what the brand represents for the culture of creatives. Also, as you know, I've come to grow with y'all, and as I've seen the show and everything progress, I think what's key is the idea of ownership, which I think that's key. Once I think everyone figured out in life that ownership is key to like how you actually make something happen with your life. That's going to really change a lot of minds once that unlocks. I strongly believe that the whole Timpin Salone and the whole Vaugiotto brand sparked a urge and slash like a need for a lot of people within our community to like start their own business or start something, start a passion that they had, start something and get creative. And especially in the midst of this pandemic where everything, I think it really emphasized how uncertain life is. And I think at this point, it's for me, once I kind of really got that understanding, I decided, you know what, let me embrace that uncertainty and try to make the most happen out of my life.
I'm like, got me shedding thug tears over here, man. It's just, it's just to see Bridge and just the level of growth that, he's had in his life. And the fact that we've had a small, piece in that puzzle is just a pleasure to see just how continued success and how we can, as a community together, go farther. And I think that's something Daniel said in his episode, just kind of, I think that's what makes this progress that much better, is just the fact that there's a community behind it and there's people with us. I don't know if I'd enjoyed it if it was just us two there. I think it's just the fact that, it's a community, it's a network that's just all just being productive in their energy and their time.
Yeah, shout out to Jamell. He's always been a great friend, a great brother, a great partner, great collaborator. Just really been able to partner with him throughout our whole history of Vaugiotto Production. He's played a key role in all that we've done throughout the years, whether it be with the intro theme song or just always just being supportive or just being on the platform with the Know the People episode or Timpin Salone episode, and even with our collab that we did earlier this year. So it was really just nice to just go back and just see the kind words I said about us and how we've impacted this space. And it's always just nice to have a good friend that's always there to support you.
Yeah, and just stay tuned. More to come. For sure. Hey, hey, shed thug tears. Just, that was the only thing I knew how to play in the guitar, to be honest with you. That was the only thing we had to play. And it's funny enough, like when we actually filmed that part where I told Bridge to go off, that was just on the fly. I think that it's just, I don't know. Words don't describe the appreciation and gratitude that I have for this platform, but just what the Vaugiotto Production family has done for my life. So I don't know what else to say, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that was a great time. I remember, I think it was around a year ago, like December last year, we created that campaign. It was when we were shooting just the different shots for that with the Vaugiotto Soul ESP merch. It was so cold. The wind was blowing all throughout the whole time, so it was like crazy. We were like, all right, you got the shot, you got it there, and then we just went because there was like this. I think there was like this fireplace we saw. We were hanging around there. I think you might have seen that in the video. So it was just nice to just go through that whole photo shoot process and really just be able to show what we've been working on with Jamell. So yeah, always, once again, shout out to Jamell. He's always been a great friend, a great collaborator.
And you see that pic of your girl and you like, oh, nah, she ain't send me that. I didn't get that one. Send me all those other selfies to approve, like, babe, which one you think is nice with the lighting? But then you ain't send me this one. What's this right here? You know what I'm saying? So, or you see that post where they just joking with their friends, like, yo, my nigga got such and such, yada, yada. And then you like, oh, you loves me? I like him. So, and she got to sit there and tell. So it's a little difficult, you know what I'm saying? But biggest thing you got to look out for is just being mindful about things. Man, like, you ain't, for me, I told my girl a long time ago, like, you ain't even got to do what I'm asking you to do. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to take into consideration. Like, I want you to at least be like, yeah, I see where you coming from, yada, yada. Now, at the end of the conversation, you might be like, nah, you bugging. I ain't doing that. Like, I think that's where it comes down to. Then you find that common ground where, at least you can do that. Because there's a lot of girls out here who you tell them something, and it's like, nah, you bugging, like you mad insecure, or I ain't messing with you, I ain't doing that.
You preaching right now, bro. You preaching right now.
You know what I'm saying? Calm down for a second. Hold on, hear what I'm saying. So as long as you come into that common ground with hearing each other, then it's like, all right, we can make some happen.
Definitely got to have him off another people. That's got top of the year. Definitely got to bring him back. But nah, just, it's just seeing how the dialogue in history is still relevant to this day shows that there is favor and just a lot of effort in the dialogue and just how the dialogue is always transferable. I think one thing that, when we came together to just create and produce, I think it was just having dialogue that's transgenerational and dialogue that can help people regardless of what background. So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was another one of those legendary episodes. That was probably one of the funniest episodes we had, one of the funniest guests we've had on the platform. So having Uncle Boogie pop up and really just bless the platform, that was really just nice to have his presence there, especially during that time. Because I think that was in July 2020, so we were in the pandemic then. Just always nice just to always catch back up with some people at that time specifically.
Stay tuned. Some of your favorite guests that upgrade the platform, you never know. You might see him in the future again. Just, pay close attention.
Making that intro, honestly, it was really fun. As editing anything comes, of course, there are rocky moments because you gotta make sure you want everything to line up in just that perfect mixture where everything just flows nice and then it just hits perfectly. And there were definitely a couple of bumps in the road getting to that process, but once we saw that final product, once we saw that everything just felt absolutely amazing, which is what it feels, which is what an editor always wants to feel when working on something. And I was definitely proud of being able to do that work for you guys. It felt really good.
Shout out to Kamau. He was one of the person that early on kind of just sat me down and just kind of sold into just the vision of how we wanted to execute. You know, he was a person that just kind of showed me how to execute as far as the behind the scenes aspect. Because I think that everybody's worried about being in front of the camera, not realizing that the important things, not saying the in front of the camera part is not important, but how the distribution and how the front of the camera looks is on the back end. So I'm forever grateful for his perspective, and just I wish him well and much peace, for sure.
And definitely shout out Kamau. He was definitely a big part in those first meetings, those first couple of when we were thinking of, I guess, having a theme song, having an introduction, just having him a part of the process, be involved behind the scenes, like you were saying, be able to help contribute to that. Because I remember seeing that the theme song or theme intro for the first time. I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. This looks really cool. I think we were looking for that '90s aesthetic, and just him being able to collaborate with him and him giving his expertise on editing and really just showing us the ropes of everything. We're really thankful for that. So again, shout out to Kamau.
Maybe he might do another intro. You know, might need to update it a little bit. Who knows? The future looks bright.
Yeah, stay tuned.
Do you think that there's certain things that are unforgivable?
I think there's levels of different things, but I'd say there's things I think that can really cause a stain, that can really, I guess, trouble you. I think it's very important, no matter what the situation is, to forgive. There's definitely things where it's going to be like a high level where it's going to be very hard to forgive. But I think, speaking for myself as a Christian, like it's definitely important to forgive. Definitely learning that throughout the years, and just seeing how it can really put you in a negative mindset and mind state. For me personally, I don't think there's something that I could never forgive somebody, but to each their own. I think there's definitely, like you were saying, there's definitely levels of things where it's going to be very, very, very hard to forgive. But I would say overall, there is a way, but you got to have that foundation. You got to have that mentality to forgive, depending on the situation.
I mean, to move the conversation forward, I think there's a way to forgive, but I think the $1 million question that the American people need answered is just, there's a way to forgive, but how do you forgive and still move forward and still be productive and still have progress? Because I think that's the hardest part to balance, is to forgive, but what does the forgiveness look like with this still person in my environment, in my circle? So to answer the question, I say, I think the measure of what a man's forgive is up to the reflection in the mirror. But I do think that it's unproductive to hold grudges on people for actions that they've already confessed sympathy for, though. And I think you also have to get into the habit of not creating a bigger situation because you're not forgiving and just trying to hold grudges, if that makes sense. Yeah, that dialogue was crispy and smooth. I think that was the reason why it's my favorite episode, because I like the execution. I think that it's just everything we produce, I'm always a fan of, but I think there's certain ones that kind of speak to me, you know, as far as like the commercial, the first episode, you know, Kamau's episode, and this one. I think it's just something about the dialogue and just, you know, how smooth the perspective was that always just, you know, even in that clip there, I think that's one. I think you can learn from every piece of content or anything that we're involved in. But that one right there is just whether you start from 1 second to 10 seconds to 3 minutes, wherever you fall in that clip, there's information there that I think you could use in a part of your life. And I think it's just, you know, it was a pleasure taping that with you, for sure.
Yeah, I remember when we were filming that specific episode, I think while we were in the middle of it, I was just noticing the flow of the conversation. I was like, this is definitely one of the ones. So just being able to film that episode, just having those gems, I think those are always great when you're able to have these conversations, but also have different life lessons that not only we can take, but also you guys as the audience can take as well. So it's always great just to have those episodes and those little reminders as you go throughout life, just different life lessons that you can take.
Yeah, I remember that one too, because at the end, that's when we had to abruptly see. Yeah, I remember that one. Just, yeah, I remember that.
You want to try? I'm saying it's no harm in trying, but you should not be saying nothing if you're not putting in late hours for this. I wouldn't say that to him, but like for the people that are saying that other rappers are trash, their music is trash when they just starting, bro, that doesn't do anything for nobody. You just hating. Like the photo, repost it, save it, help their algorithm. None of that hate.
Felt that in the soul.
Yeah,
I came from a real place, you know, and that's why I wanted to. That's why I think Vaugiotto has so much purpose in the ecosystem, because I think that there's always going to be people who want to shine the light on you when you've already had success. But I think it's just that in-between process where progress in the in-between process where I think Vaugiotto comes in, because I want people to be able to come back and look back and see their progress. And I think that is what just makes the process and the journey or the marathon that much sweeter, is just when you can see, okay, cool, year one we were here, year two we were here. Just even in looking back in our old clips, I still, you know, a big fan of them, but just like some of the editing, you know, I see areas where we could execute better in the editing. I see areas where, you know, I could probably execute a little better in just, you know, the transition. So it's just also a learning experience that, you know, I think that, you know, it's just beautiful to watch for sure.
Yeah, shout out to my bro Jacob. It was always great to have him on the platform. Like you were saying in the video, it's always hard when you're getting started on something new or you're embarking on a new journey. So I think those early stages can be very hard to really just keep on pressing forward. So I think, as he was saying, as he did with his music, just he can apply to us. So when we were first starting, being able to push through if anybody had anything negative to say or anything that you want to keep on going, to really just try and find your way in the valley or the lane that you really want to get into. So I think, yeah, it was definitely a great film. I remember that was another one of those filming sessions where it was like crazy stuff going on before and during, but it was always a great time to catch up with Jacob and just have him on the platform, just him being able to express himself and be able to promote his music.
Yeah, and whenever you step foot in your purpose, people are always going to comment on those steps, and I think that you have to respond with what idea do you have that's going to substantially elevate the ecosystem that we come from, and that's going to be productive. I think a lot of people can tell you what not to do, but a lot of people can't tell you what to do and how to do it. So respectfully, just, you know, treat every day as a blessing and just, you know, fall in love with your progress and just, you know, run the marathon, so to speak. What's your greatest test in life?
That's a pretty deep question. So I would say maybe what is going on right now in my life is probably maybe one of the greatest tests. I'll say, for example. So currently I'm in graduate school, so that's just been since last time I was in college undergrad. That was now going on 4 years since we graduated in 2020. So now I started graduate school back in the fall of 2023, so kind of halfway through my second semester. So it's definitely been an adjustment, just getting back to the flow of things and just having that balance between schoolwork and then just having time to myself has definitely been challenging at times. But overall, it's just been interesting just to learn, because I'm right now studying digital marketing. So marketing is one thing I want to look to get into in the future. So definitely a challenge. This is a new subject that I'm learning more about. So yeah, I would say, yeah, just definitely life after college, just figuring out what you want to do, try and make your goals and just see what you want to do, both personally and professionally, just balancing everything else. So I think that's been my biggest test in life right now. What about you?
That's a good question there. You're making me think. I don't know if I could point to just one, because the way I look at tests is just information you don't really have the answers to. And I think a lot of times people focus on the test rather than trying to find solutions to the test. So I think just, continuing to stay productive, continuing to stay efficient, continuing to stay, respectable even when nobody's around, I would say best describes that answer for me.
Mm-hmm.
think I was going through something that day. I was getting tested, you know, so. But nah, just remembering those days, you know, it's just like, it just seems like every time we film or every time we have the pleasure to have dialogue with someone, I remember the day, I remember the weather, I just remember what I ate for breakfast that day. It's just, I don't know, I think I'm running out of words, you know, I don't want to sound like a broken record or anything like that. I think how I would like Timpin Salone to be is just, you know, if I ever have kids someday, like, you know, they can go back in and just look at it and just get the information and game. And I think that a lot of times kids, they don't look at what you say, they look at what you do. And I think that Vaugiotto Production and Timpin Salone and everything that we've had the privilege to grow and produce is just a life lessons for, you know, hopefully the kids out there to kind of learn from it and just kind of take from it and just see areas where they can apply it to their life and just get information and be a piece of guidance and peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a great clip there. I think, yeah, what's very nice about this platform in Timpin Salone is that we're able to have those type of conversations where we're able to talk about our struggles in life. Just it's wide open as far as like the different topics that we can talk about. So just being able to have that and just be able to talk with you just about like whether it be the struggles in life, dealing with adversity, or just even having those motivational factors and tools that we speak on throughout these episodes is always very good. And I'm just definitely looking forward to continue to do this.
And as always, we thank you for your viewing pleasure. We want to thank you for your time and your listening ear. This 5-year process would be nothing without you all, you know, supporting us along the way and just giving us your ear to listen. And, you know, we look forward to continued success. Trubisky.
Yeah, special thank you to everybody that's been supporting us throughout these 5 years. And as we continue along this journey, we just want to continue to thank you all. We couldn't do it without you guys. And we're just looking forward to what these next years have in store for us.
Indeed. And as always, have a Vaugiotto day. Stay smoked.